Welcome back to the 10-Day Entrepreneur Challenge. Today's day 6. Woo, 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 woo. You made it. Congratulations. I am so proud of you because guess what? If you're here with me today, that sets you apart from the majority of people. Most people have already quit. Most people have stopped watching. Most people have given up on themselves because they look at these challenges and they think, this is really hard. You mean I got to do work? I have to get out of my comfort zone? I don't even know if I believe this stuff or not, but it kind of makes sense. It sounds like I want to move forward. How'd you do yesterday? Did you love creating, building, and maintaining relationships? That cell phone challenge is a doozy. And I hope that you already started it. I hope you've already picked up the phone and made that call and had that conversation. Set up that lunch date. Who's the person you need to talk to? That's what it's going to take to help you elevate, to get to the next level, to grow, is you're going to want to challenge yourself, push yourself. Now, this 10-day challenge is kind of this quick learning, like we're blasting a lot of information to you, but there's enough stuff here for you to make a plan for the next 90 days, the next 6 months, the next year. And that's why I love today so much, because today is about knowing your numbers. Now, I'm one of those guys that I didn't really love numbers growing up. It didn't really make sense to me. I did like math. Math was pretty cool. But this was the biggest aha I had when growing my real estate business and every business since then, is the power of knowing your numbers. When I work with somebody who's brand new in a business or in real estate, we always start with knowing your numbers. We look down and say, okay, these are the first couple questions that I always ask. One, how long can you go without making any money? That's a very powerful question when starting a business or when running a business. The next one is what's your break even? What's the number that you need in order to survive? Because that's the first number we have to get to. We have to get to the number where at least your bills are paid, that you can live month to month to month, right? There's a break even, there's a comfortable, and there's a dream level. We're not going to dive into that today, but you've got to understand what the numbers are. What is it that you're striving for? We talk about clarity, growth, and success. Where do you want to be? And this is all about the financial growth. I want to make $100,000 a year. I want to make $250,000 a year. I want to make $1 million a year. We need to know where you want to be, because the beautiful thing is that we can now work it backwards. We can determine, okay, you want to make this per year. What do you need to make per quarter? What do you need to make per month? And that's the beautiful thing about numbers. Now, numbers work in all areas. It can work for your mind, for your relationships, for your body. Have you ever wanted to lose weight? That's a numbers game. You have so many calories that you take per day, and if you take less calories, you lose weight. If you eat more calories or drink more calories, you gain weight. And if you're not tracking those calories, how are you going to know which direction? You just continue to walk on the scale and you're like, oh, gained 2 pounds today. Oh, lost a pound today. But what if you knew? What if you knew the exact numbers? What if you knew the exact amount of appointments you need to go on, the exact amount of relationships you needed to have, the exact amount of people you need to talk to? It's not always exact, but it's really close. I tracked my numbers for over 8 years in real estate. And it made me extremely powerful. Why? Because I could stay in the zone. I could get in the flow. I wasn't guessing every single day and every single minute of like, what do I do now? What do I do? Do I do this? Do I do this? I knew exactly what needed to happen. Actually, I knew exactly what was the most important thing that needed to happen that day because I knew my numbers. Now, the hardest part is tracking your numbers for the first year, because what happens is that you have to guess in the beginning. You have to guess, what are your conversion ratios? What are the opportunities? What am I going to try? I don't know if it works yet or not. It's a guessing game. But if you track and measure it every single day and you put intention to it and purpose, at the end of the year, you can make better decisions. You'll know if this advertisement is working or this marketing idea is working or where you need to improve. Are you going on appointments or are you talking to people and there's no conversion? They're not buying what you're selling? Then you know you need to get better in your communication. This is a beautiful gift that I'm giving you today. And so let's find out where you're at. Let's see how you're doing in all these areas. I have 4 statements for financial goals. And just like yesterday, what I want you to do is rate yourself 0 to 10. Now, I hope you have something to write with, or you're typing in your computer or whatever. Like, make sure you're taking notes, or watch this again. You can do both. There's going to be an aha. There's going to be an area here that there's going to be a voice inside of you that says, I need to work on this. I probably should put a little focus in this. And the other thing I want you to think about is that if I was doing this better, would my results be better? I'm a high D, if you know about the DISC program. I love results. I'm driven by results. Results are the things I'm always chasing because it raises my enthusiasm, my excitement. Like, for instance, if you are loving this or you have a comment, post it below. That's a result for me. The fact that you're listening, you're paying attention, you're excited, and you've gotten something out of this, right? The goal is to help you raise your life in all areas. And so numbers work in all areas. We're going to focus on financial today. So let's go ahead and get started in these statements. Are you ready? Well, whether you're ready or not, we're going forward. Here we go. The first statement is, I am financially stable, have a plan for my future, ready for new opportunities, and feel comfortable that I'm doing my best to take care of those I'm financially responsible for. Now, when I talk about a 0 to 10 scale here, the thing is just how do you feel you're doing? Like, how do you feel when you think about, okay, like I'm a 0 to 10, this 0, listen, you're not a 0, all right? But you're probably not a 10 either, especially if you're one of these people that likes to continue to strive for performance, strive to be better. Because we're the ones who are the hardest on ourselves, right? Are you like the hardest person on yourself? So think about 0 to 10, where you're doing this area. Are you financially stable? Meaning, do you have reserves? Do you feel confident that you can pay your bills every month? If something happens, what if you lost your job or the economy went bad? Or do you have stuff in savings? Can you cover things that need to happen? Do you have a plan for your future? Do you have investments? Do you have a plan for retirement? Right? Think about those things. These are all about numbers. Numbers in all areas. Ready for new opportunities. Wow, like I think this is a really big one because there are opportunities everywhere. And so we want to be really careful with this because there's plenty of opportunity. There is no lack of opportunity right now in any industry. But the question is, one, are you able to say no to majority opportunities? And are you in a position to take advantage of opportunities? You know, the reason that there's this whole the rich get richer thing is because they're ready for opportunities. If somebody comes and says, hey, listen, I have an opportunity, it's $1 million. Are you ready to pay $1 million? Or even if it's, hey, I have an opportunity, it's 10 grand. Do you have 10 grand? See, it's really fascinating when you think about these things because these tie all into financial growth, financial success. These are the arenas. And each of these answers are going to be different for different people because we all have different goals, different visions, different ideas of what we want, where we want to be. And are you doing your best to take care of the people you're responsible for? Like, this is a big smack of why right in your face. You know, like people are like, well, I don't know what's important to me. Okay, well, maybe if you're single in your 20s and, you know, you've got an apartment, maybe I get that. But the majority of you have kids, have husbands and wives. Maybe you even have a mom and dad you want to take care of. Like, I don't know what that is for you. Are you doing your best to take care of the people that you're responsible for? One, are you taking care of yourself? Right? This all starts with personal responsibility. This is not just the people that you're responsible for. What about yourself? What kind of position do you want to be in? How do you want to feel? How much money do you want in your bank account? Really, really imperative. Now, the reason that I'm going deep in this is because I'm helping you understand the power of how the numbers will help you get to here. Because when you look at this statement and you start deciding where do I really want to be, and you can attach a number to it, now you can come up with your plan. Don't overthink the plan. Come up with the simplicity of a plan. In real estate is very simple. It's very simple. In order to get paid, you have to have closings. I've told my story before. Like literally, I was broke. I had no car. I had about a couple $100 in the bank account. I had nowhere to live. I was living on an air mattress, blah, blah, blah. But here's the thing. is I realized this very quickly. I wanted to get paid. I only had 6 months before I was going to get kicked out of where I was living. So I knew I needed a car, I needed a place to live, and I needed some savings. And I needed to start creating some business so that I was earning income every single month, because a good real estate agent treats their business like a business. You're an entrepreneur, you're making commission. I needed to get paid. In order to get paid, I needed closings. In order to have closings, I needed contracts. In order to have contracts, I needed appointments. The way to get appointments, I needed relationships. And at the time, I had 0 relationships. I had to create my sphere. And so when you think about that, what was the most important number for me at that time? It was creating relationships. It was the only thing that mattered, because it was the first step of the process of getting paid. Do you see how that works? Now, I didn't know how many relationships I needed to get to this point. But what I did know is that the only thing I had responsible for me at that point was me. And the way I was introduced to real estate was having a long list of phone numbers and just dialing them and saying hello. I tracked them. Over time, I knew how many calls it would take. I knew how many people I needed to talk to. I knew how many appointments I needed to go on. And that just built my confidence. Because when you wake up in the morning and you know what you got to do, you actually can get excited about it. Because if you know what the result is, or you can at least get really close to what that result is. I will tell you one thing. For me, every goal that I ever set per year, if I tracked and did my numbers, I always exceeded it. Because the other thing is that there's kind of this realistic standpoint that I always set a goal that was like the bare minimum, kind of the worst case scenario. Because the way I set it up was worst case scenario for stretching my goal. So if I wanted to do 10 million in sales, I set my goal for 12 million in sales. Because typically most people fall short, right? If you're shooting to make 100,000 a year, a lot of times in the first 12 months you fall short. So I would suggest go for 125,000. Do the work now for the amount of money you want to make next year. Super, super powerful comment right there. Do the work this year for the amount of money you want to make next year. So when you set your big target goals, I want you to think 18 months down the road, 24 months down the road. Because what happens is that most businesses are front end loaded, meaning you're doing all the work, all the effort up front, and you're going to get paid later. It's just kind of like investing, the compound effect, where you're putting money and time, and then over time it compounds. Got it? I hope you get it. If you have more questions about that, let me know. The next one is I'm getting paid what I deserve. This is perfect for what we just talked about. Are you getting paid what you deserve? Now, this is beautiful because there's kind of 2 answers to this. Now, I'm going to challenge you and say you are getting paid what you deserve. You are getting paid for what you've done in the last 12 months, in the last 24 months, over the lifetime. If you just take a real look in the mirror and you say, are you getting paid $500,000 a year? You're probably getting paid what you deserve. Are you getting paid $50,000 a year? You're probably getting paid what you deserve. The question is, are you willing to elevate, to create the person, to become the person who does what needs to be done, who actually earns it? I love this statement. It's so powerful. Are you getting paid what you deserve? And if you're truly not, if you're working at a place that doesn't appreciate you, that you've hit a ceiling, that you feel like that your skills, your experience excels, then the question is, are you at the right place? Are you doing the thing? Is there other opportunity out there for you? Somebody that will appreciate you, that will pay you what you deserve. But typically, I challenge the fact that you're getting paid what you deserve, you just don't like it. You just don't like it. So what are we going to do about it? My financial success matches the time and effort I put into my business. 2 powerful words here. Time and effort. 1, we talked about manifesting your vision. Manifesting your visions, here's how you manifest your vision. I want to make 6 figures a year. This was my first big number. This was 12 years ago, okay? So that would probably be at least $250,000 in this day and age. But that was what I wanted. I I wanted to make 6 figures a year. It's like I could never quite reach it back then. My time and effort wasn't matching. See, if you want to do that, your thoughts turn into your words turn into your actions, and then there's a time piece. There's a consistency piece. Take action until you earn it, if you know what those are. And so, what kind of time are you putting in? There's this whole get rich quick kind of concept. I mean, you've all heard it. Sure, are there people out there that have gotten, I don't know, lucky, maybe the word, or, you hear these stories about crypto or whatever. It's like, that's not real life. Things take time and effort. That's why you study. That's why you learn. That's why you grow. It takes time. Figure out how much time it's going to take. Now, can you do it faster? Of course you can, right? If you meet somebody and they did something in a year, could you do it in 7, 8 months? It's totally possible. But then what's the effort you're putting in? The effort, the action. Are you putting in 10 minutes a day? Are you putting in 4 hours a day? Is it focused effort? Are you working 8 hours a day, but you're honestly on social media, emails, coming up with all these other things to do? It's not the effort towards your goal. It may be effort, but it's not helping you towards your goal. So really think about time and effort. How much time are you willing to put in? How much action are you willing to take? And this one's awesome. I know my numbers. Do you know your numbers? Hopefully you will after this. I know my numbers and understand what actions and skills it will take to achieve my dream lifestyle. This is kind of like the next step. So when I work with people, whether it's group or one-on-one, I have 6 arenas of life. All right, 6 arenas that we're growing after. One is mental, emotional, physical, relational, spiritual, and financial. And so the first thing that we go through and that we do is that we come up with what is your target, right? This is all about knowing your numbers, you guys. This is how I live my life. This is how I teach. This is how I help people grow. What is your target? I'm really not a fan of goals. You'll hear me say goals, but the thing is about goals, most people don't reach them. I think it's a super small percentage of people that actually set a goal that hit it. The majority of them don't, right? Have you ever set a goal and not hit it? The answer is yes, right? Whether it was a New Year's resolution or something. So I don't like goals because a lot of us have this neural pathway that's been built that kind of allows us not to hit the goals. We don't even realize it's happening. I like targets, right? A target you can hit, a target you can see. A target is something that, like I just think of the dartboard or a shooting range or bow and arrow, right? Like, what is the target? The specific thing that you want to hit in all areas of life. We go through this process. And so let's just use physical as an example, right? Physical, you want to lose 30 pounds. I want to lose 30 pounds by such and such date, right? You can kind of use SMART goals, but I want to tack one more thing onto that. So SMART goals are specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and then there's a time attached to it. I think that's missing passion. Whatever your target is, whatever your goal is, you need to be extremely, radically passionate about it. It needs to be something that you're so excited about that you're willing to go through the challenge, you're willing to go through the struggle, you're willing to fight through the pain. Working out is painful, especially if you haven't done it for a while, if you haven't done it for a long time, right? It's painful because it's not a habit, it's not comfortable, and you've got to break down your body in order to build it back up. Same thing in every area. Mentally, you got to break it down in order to build it up. You got to clear out the clutter in order to even put good stuff in. Emotionally, how many of you are hurting emotionally? Right? If you just went through the day and checked off, do I feel negative or positive right now? Or do you feel negative more than you feel positive? And sometimes, and the majority of times, you need to feel through the pain. These are different conversations for different days. I'm going a little deep on you right now. But what are your numbers for each area in order for you to hit that target? Once you have a target and you know what it is that you want to hit, and you have a time frame and it's realistic and all that cool stuff, what actions and skills do you need to hit that? This is where priorities come into play. This is where scheduling comes into play. I'm not sitting here to tell you got to schedule your whole day by every 10 minutes or anything like that. But like, do you know your priorities? Do you know exactly what is most important for you to do today for you to move forward, for you to succeed, for you to feel freedom, for you to feel love, for you to feel excited, for you to feel financially secure, for you to feel financially excited, for you to grow, to build, for you to have the relationships, to spend the time with those relationships. I know my numbers and understand what actions and skills it will take to achieve your dream lifestyle. What are the skills you need to learn? You're one skill away. You're one question away. And the beautiful thing is that this doesn't end. There is no end to this, friend. This is a journey. The only time that this stuff ends is when you die. And if it ends, that means you're either living or you're dying. Now, you may not die right away, but are you succeeding or are you failing? Are you moving forward or moving backwards? There's no in between. There's no average. There's no in the middle. You're either going one way or the other. And in my experience, this is the fastest way up. This is how you scale. This is how you continue to know that path where you kind of go like, this is my dream, is to go up and then, have your little bumps, right? Because we all have bumps. We all have things we're not aware of yet as you grow and level up, challenges you're not aware of yet, like things that are out of our control. And so you're going up and you have your little bump and then you go back to this. Okay, what are my numbers? What do I need to learn? What do I need to focus on? What are the actions? What do I need to adjust? And then you go back up and then you hit your little bump. Awareness. Awareness is the magic thing to this. But once you're aware, are you willing to take the actions? Here's the challenge that I'm presenting you today, is I want you to think about every single arena, mental, emotional, physical, relational, spiritual, and financial. And I want you to decide what numbers are the most important right now for you in those areas to help you create the dream lifestyle, to create the life that you want to live. Can you do that? Does it scare you? It should. And I want you to face that fear. Get super serious about what it is that you want, where you want to be. Decide who do you need to become and create that success work. Know your numbers, take the actions, and get paid what you deserve. Because I love you and you do deserve it. And you have the ability to have unlimited resources if you want. But it's going to take a step. You guys, day 6, man. Ooh, love you. This has been super powerful. I'm excited about tomorrow, because tomorrow we're going to help you go even deeper in facing those fears, taking the step. And I'm going to give you the secret that has helped me the most in the last 18 months. Love you guys. Talk to you soon.